My name is Rudolph Muhammad. By trade, I'm an emergency medical technician instructor and a practical nurse. I'm also a disaster relief worker. I represent the CARE unit, stands for the Community Action Response Emergency Unit 911. Our job is to inform, enlighten, and inspire people to do for themselves. This issue in Flint, Michigan of the water has potentially devastating effects. And we believe that the biggest problem with this is that the people don't have enough information. Bottles of water are being sent in, and we want to thank everybody that is rising to the occasion, that is sending the water in, because everyone there needs clean drinking water. What about the water that they bathe with, and what about the water that they're doing their laundry with? What is actually in the water that's causing the problem? Is it lead? Is it arsenic? Is it mercury? Is it microorganisms? Is it all of the above? And if so, how do you treat that water? How do you rid it of those things so the water becomes good for human consumption and human use? There are two types of water: clean water and dirty water. Dirty water is any kind of water that has any pollutants in it. And a pollutant can be anything that will cause that water not to be clean. Clean water is just that. It's water that is clean, that there are no pollutants in. Well, how do you get clean water? Either by distillation or reverse osmosis. That way you kill the microorganisms or the living creatures that are in the water, and you get rid of all of the heavy metals and the particulate matter, the stuff that's in there that needs to be filtered out. Boiling your water only helps to kill those microorganisms that heating or heat will kill. It does nothing for the particulate matter or the heavy metals, the stuff. Filtering the water gets the stuff out, but it does nothing for the living creatures that are in your water. So it has to be a system that combines both of those in it. The best filters, of course, would be a filter that is a triple carbon or charcoal filter with a way to kill the pathogens or the living organisms, whether it was an ultraviolet light or a source of heat that raised the water past its boiling point. If you simply distill the water and let it go through the distillation process and then have a clean catch container, you could also accomplish the same thing, but it's a slower process and it takes longer to get a good amount of water for the family to have. Reverse osmosis works great, except those machines are quite expensive, and I'm not sure that any families in Flint have reverse osmosis machines, although they are out there and are available. So what is the next option? The next option is, what is the long-term solution? Of course, that would be replacing all of the water lines, but that's going to take more than a year to do. So how else? Well, there's the military, and the government has these large trucks that they use that they can fill with clean water and drive them into the city, and at particular locations it can be announced where they are, and the people can come to those trucks at particular times during the day and get the water needed for their family. But this is an ongoing process and a long-term process. Another solution would be to get a large machine that can filter and clean 100 gallons of water maybe an hour or something like that. And again, position that in a centralized location in the town where people can come to it and get the water they need for their family. All of these are options that the government can use. Here's my question to you. How did they get fresh, clean drinking water overseas? How do they get them to third world countries when they want to do it? Well, is Flint, Michigan any less than a third world country right now? Is Flint, Michigan any less than a country that's at war and the people are suffering because of what's going on? These are just questions that I'm quite sure someone needs to be asking. The bottom line is, with every day that this goes on, the residents of Flint, Michigan are suffering irreparable damage. And what about the children? Because if it's lead that's in the water, lead comes with a high price. Learning disabilities, developmental delays, organ damage. If it's mercury or arsenic, those have pretty much the same consequences. And then how much chlorine or other chemicals were dumped into the water once they found out to try and fix the problem of the microorganisms? Well, by overcompensating, what they have done was change the chemical compound of the water, so now whatever was in there has changed and may have caused a crystallization effect, so now you have the crystals and the heavy metals. Again, this is just me giving you information because that's what you need, information. And that can help you make an informed decision rather than an emotional decision about what is going on and what you need to do for yourself and your family. There will be more. Stay